Serena and Lily Ocean Luna Stripe wallpaper. Very fine wallpaper, okay? You glue the backing, you wait 3 to 5 minutes, and you're ready to go. Very hard to work with. It's slippery in your hands because it's wet, and if you get a little glue on it, it makes it even worse. To slide it over, you practically have to have it dry. Okay, that's number one problem with this. Number two, once you get most of your air pockets out and your glue, this stuff is not that forgiving. And to get the rest of it out, and I'm talking, just bring them in here, let them see this. You see this thing? Look, you see that? Obviously we got, your glue distribution has to be perfectly universal throughout the whole sheet. If it's a little heavy here or there, you got problems. I want to show you how to best handle this wall covering. I'm going to show you right now. What am I doing? I'm reducing the friction that I'm about to put on this wall covering to give it the final float. I'm going to float the glue underneath by using a very thin smoother, okay? I make sure that it's not nicked, scratched, or anything else, because it will put a scratch right on this wallpaper, and then you got problems. Okay, you want it to slide, and so that's why I'm wetting it. It reduces pulling the color off, it reduces tearing it, and everything else. Let's go. Look at the angle that I'm using. Okay, I'm starting at this. Nice even push. Okay. If you've ever seen a hockey game, you see the Zamboni come out, it is literally the same idea. You will not scratch this if you use the right angle with this smoother. If you don't use this procedure, you're going to wind up with ugly manifestations of glue, uneven distribution, little imperfections in it. I'm telling you, super, super sensitive. Okay, let's come down here. And you want to move quick too, because once this glue starts setting up, folks, okay, not fun. What you're really doing is you're doing what a plaster guy does, okay? You're floating the glue underneath it. You're floating the wall covering, okay? All right, even pressure, right? If you don't have one of these things, I suggest you get one, because, and you don't just get one, you get 20 of them, okay? See, we're just floating the glue under here, and we're going to do a great job here. But, see, I just wanted to admit to you that you're looking at this from your video. You can't see the imperfections like I can. Just trust me when I tell you. There's all sorts of little dents and everything else in this stuff. And what is it really in? It's in your glue. Because there's a sheen to this thing. It's a satin finish, okay? And it's very unforgiving. If it's imperfect, it's going to show through. It's going to show through. Okay, a little more water. Remember, I'm using water to reduce the friction on the wall covering. Don't bring that with you. the angle. I'm using about a 15 to 20 degree angle. All right. I mean, you can see all of that. I mean, look at that. Not a very practical wall covering to install. Let's just be honest. You know? And the fact that it's dark blue doesn't help. Because if you stress this color, you'll take it right off. What you're doing here is also reducing the likelihood that you'll have bubbles in this stuff. Because really, the backing is now so wet and the paper is so tight, there's no room for air. Okay? There's no room for it. Don't confuse an air pocket with a paste bubble. Paste bubbles, if you got paste, you're going to have bubbles. Why? If you got paste, you got H2O. If you got H2O, you got to have a release of the H2O, right? And therefore you need to have bubbles. But paste bubbles dissipate. Air pockets get trapped. And they're going to be handled separately. Okay, here's our seam. The seam is perfect because my wall is perfect, because we skim coated the wall. And now I will give the seam a final float. See, I'm distributing. Here's my seam in the middle. I'm simply floating the liquid on each side of that seam. And I'm making the seams one. Okay? Very nice. As you can see, I cut my corner. You'd be a fool not to. The corner was very uneven, and so here's what I did. I cut my corner, and because the corner is uneven, my cut is not uneven. Just trust me on that. And so my wallpaper goes right up into that corner. But now we got to float this side too, okay? Again, we'll give it some water. Water reduces, you know, when you wash your car, usually if you get a new car when you're young, you mess up. You wash the car without wetting it down first. And the reason why you wet it down is you reduce the likelihood of scratching the car, right? When you go through a car wash, what do? They wet your car down. Why is that? Because if you don't wet the grit on that vehicle, you increase the likelihood of scratching the surface because there's no water on it. The water gets in between the dirt and the paint and then gives you a cushion to get the dirt off. That's what it really does. It gives you a little cushion. You see all the time it's taking? For those of you who only install commercial wallpaper and say on my YouTube video, I'm taking too long. If you don't install residential wallpaper, you really are not a well-rounded wallpaper installer. I know the production is in commercial, and you may think the money is in commercial. Not necessarily true. Residential has to be perfect. Nobody's going to let you walk away in a residential job the way they do in a commercial job. Got to be perfect. And so you put the time in. Okay, when you can get 100 5-star reviews in a year, you're doing something good. And that mostly from residential work. Keep it up. Don't rush residential work simply because, you know, you can hang more commercially or whatever. there's a demand for good residential wallpaper installers. And my motto is take your time to do it right and charge accordingly. You know? A lot of people on YouTube want to comment about the length of these videos. Guys, fast forward. Fast forward. I'm not here to hear myself talk. I'm here to teach people who don't know. You know? My videos are basically how-to. If you fast forward, just move the mouse, then you see me start working on the wallpaper. You'll be where you want to be. You don't have to listen. If you know how to do this, that's great. I'm explaining what I'm doing. It's important. You're floating the glue underneath it. I never hear anybody talk about that on YouTube. Okay? And that's why I'm using the angle that I'm using. When I say angle, I'm talking right here. This is a 45. I'm bringing it all the way down to 10 to 15 angles. Real close with the wall. This way, you're not disrupting too much of the bed of glue underneath it. You're sort of floating it out, and that's what you do when you float joint compound, when you're taping a wall, right? Now, okay, I'm satisfied with that. Very satisfied with that. I haven't stressed my color. I attribute that to the quality of wall covering. Okay, show them up close, por favor. Traiga la cámara cerca del tapiz más. Sí. Y eso también. Gracias. You just look at that nice, nice thing. That's just wet, folks. That's not an imperfection in what I did. Okay, now that's how you do it, guys. Please do it like this. Go make money. Do a great job. That is not white there. That's just a light. That is not white. That's a blue corner. Okay, this is Spencer Colgan. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching.